It's good to see you again. Thanks for rescuing me and my companions from that insidious mine trap. By the way, if you're working with these smugglers now, you should know that I've deprived a number of them of their existence. Well then, it appears that your mission has thus far been a success. Since you're here, I could use your help. My associate Grog has been captured. I need you to free him, while I try to learn everything I can about the sea slode called Gaza. We did indeed. Turns out that Keturah is just one of several sea slode terrorizing Summerset. We couldn't find the mine manipulator, but we located a necromancer in these caves. Grog went to investigate, but he failed to account for the smugglers. You continue to impress me, newcomer. I hope you made the creature's last moments particularly painful. But about Grog, he's chained up as a gift from the smugglers to appease Gaza. Set him free while I look into the sea slode. I appreciate the effort. While I may have dealt with a few of these scoundrels, I'm not capable of eliminating an entire army of smugglers. Besides, one of us has to investigate Gaza and the other sea slodes. Summerset is depending on us. As quietly and efficiently as I possibly can. I have no desire to get into additional altercations with either the smugglers or the sea slode's undead servitors. I'll meet you back here in this relatively safe location once we're both finished. From what I've been able to observe, the smugglers have entered into some kind of arrangement with the sea slode. They occasionally leave prisoners for the creature to toy with. Unfortunately, Grog is just the latest in a long line. A hunch, I suppose. For an often inebriated orc, he actually excels at that sort of thing. From what limited knowledge I have of the sea slodes, though, necromancy appears to be one of their favorite pastimes. I'll try to learn more once you depart.
alternative is a lot worse.
Hello? Someone there? Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? Oh, yeah, the bucket! I still haven't gotten the stink out of my favorite tunic. You can make it up to me. Get me out of these chains before the big slug notices I'm here. How do I... What the... like a blacksmith? Sorry, let me consider. Well, the smuggler with the key went to chat with the Slode. Said something disagreeable and I heard him scream. Body's not far. Or if you can pick a lock. Sure, I'll tell you everything I know. Right after you get me out of these chains. Look, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, and I'm in no rush to have that slimy slug get its webbed fingers on me. So go get that key. Thanks for getting me out of those chains. Ooh, my wrists were starting to chafe. So, what's the plan? How do we get out of this oblivion pit? Look, I'm grateful and all that, and I really admire your tenacity, but we're not safe here. I'll tell you and Kynar everything I learned right after we get out of this place. Fine, but then we really need to get out of here. The Sea Slode's name is Kagarza, some sort of necromancer based on all the undead I ran into, but that's not all. I heard it talking to someone. A high elf, I think. Said some interesting things. Something about a cabal of some sort. Multiple sea slodes working together. They discussed another one of the big slugs operating to the south. Said they had a way to sink the island. Can we get out of here now, please?
Thanks for retrieving Grog. He may be lazy, perpetually intoxicated, and a terrible cheat at Ancestor Draw, but he is one of my steadfast companions. Was he able to shed any additional light on the Sea Slode menace? Interesting. That corresponds with what I was able to learn. Anything else? My drunken companion usually discovers the most tantalizing secrets. Sink the island? Magic of that sort sounds as remarkable as it is terrible. Maria and the High Elf Marines headed south, following rumors of some sort of natural phenomenon. I wonder if they're related. You need to go help her. Time is of the essence. While you go south to aid Maria, I'll return to Alinor and bring what we've learned so far to the Battle Reef. It splits our forces, but I don't see any other way. Good luck, and may the stars light your path.
Thanks for making sure I got back to Kynar. We'll tell the Battle Reef what we know, but you've got to find Maria.
Isn't the best defense always a good attack?
Vindilwyn told me where she sent you. I've been having the most interesting conversation with this divine prosecution person here. Did you know the tall elves have at least 3 rules for every possibility? Oh, did you find the stolen goods? Rigert is so happy he could kiss you! The last time I did that, though, Thane Mera punched me in the nose, so... I know. Let's give the good Justiciar one of my Nord keepsakes. Which one do you think he'd like best? Interesting. The stuffed goat represents stoic bravery, and she never breaks any rules. I mean, how could she? She's dead. Anyway, She stands for all the same things as the divine prosecution. Yes, I think that's the perfect gift to give to the Justiciar. The Nord Cultural Exchange proudly returns the Queen's stolen items. And this stuffed goat, it's a Nord treasure.
Remarkable work. I'll grant you that writ of authenticity now. A word of advice. If Vindilwyn refuses to help, remind her that the divine persecution might remember the incident at the Battle Reeves dinner party.
Now that we have the writ of authenticity, the letter of recommendation, and the tickets to Enigma's performance, we should return to Courtier Vindilwyn so I can get my audience with the proxy queen.
You performed admirably. And the fact that I don't have to tell the Queen that her favorite bowl and cup were stolen, well, that's just honey butter on the sour meat pasty. Of course, I must admit I didn't expect you to succeed, but thank you for recovering the items. As for the stuffed goat, I'll just toss that in the trash after the two of you leave. In the meantime, be careful when dealing with Vindilwyn. Let's just say Vindilwyn likes to maintain the upper hand. Here's a bit of advice. If she refuses to help you, tell her that the divine persecution could look into that incident at the Battle Reeves dinner party if you were to remind me about it.
Amazing to stand at the heart of Tanzelwa, isn't it? You can hear the elder sisters whisper.
These blasted guards. Perhaps there's a window. No, that won't do. So we meet again. Always nice and rare to see a friendly face. I'm afraid I don't have time to chat at the moment. I'm trying to seek entrance into this winery, but the guards refuse to let me in, despite my invitation. Tableau has left the House of Reveries, and tonight is her art debut. I received an invitation, but I suspect her patron caught wind of my arrival. Lilowen doesn't quite accept me as an acquaintance. In truth, I only wish to attend to check on Tableau. Her invitation came with a note outlining concerns for her safety. Could you perhaps go in and check on her, make sure things run smoothly? It would mean a good deal to me if you would. Lilowen should be able to tell you where you can find Tableau. Just look for a noble type who looks like she has a stick up her ass. Well, more so than usual. Meet me behind the vineyard afterward. I'd rather not overstay my welcome here. Perhaps we were, but we've now gone our separate ways. Her choice of me as an acquaintance was always questionable, but mostly accepted when she was part of the House of Reveries. Once she acquired a patron, I felt it best to leave. Overly sentimental. Still, it's best this way. A reputable artist within Summerset is thought very highly of. It would never do to be seen with a Hulkind. I only came tonight out of concern for her safety. Once that's confirmed, I'll be on my way. My intentions are completely honorable, I assure you. There's no way I would harbor romantic intentions, given my status. Tableau is just one of the few Mer I consider a friend. The least I can do is keep her safe.
Strange. I don't remember seeing you on the guest list. What proof do you have? You're the 15th friend of hers to come out of the woodwork today. Why, I never knew she was so well connected before she debuted as Eleanor's newest artist. Perhaps you do know her. She's in the room upstairs, preparing. Would you be ever so useful and tell her to come down? I'd rather she not be late for her own debut. For such an outstanding artist, Tableau certainly seems to have a wide variety of friends. Stars forbid these attachments get in the way of her debut. Keeping her stage name is one thing. Her disreputable associates? Quite another. So you know the Hulkand as well? My, he's quite popular given his status. I never forbade Tableau from interacting with Manakar, but it seemed he understood his place well enough. For him to disrupt this debut, however, is a different matter. Tableau often has unnecessary sentiments. As her patron, it falls on me to bring her into the world of the elite. Sometimes that involves making such decisions. I certainly don't think I need to explain why Manakar is not an appropriate associate. Hate him? No, rather I pity him. A Mer without family cannot truly be considered a Mer, after all. Why, he's more than an outsider within Summerset. He's truly nothing. A broken child can never hope to become anything more. Did you truly think that Tableau was her actual name? Oh dear, of course not. The House of Reveries all have silly stage names such as that. Chuckle, Bug Eyes, that sort of thing. Quite the egregious practice, I must say. Of course they don't. Who would take someone named Bug Eyes seriously? But for Tableau, it works. After all, she is an artist. A certain air of mystery comes a long way if you know how to sell such things.
I'm not drunk. I'm just drinking.
I can't take it anymore. What could possibly be keeping you... oh, my. I'm ruined. I'll be the laughingstock of Eleanor.
I hope to be done here soon.
Were you able to speak to Tableau? Did she mention me? I mean, is she all right? Slack. So I'm the reason she was in danger. I don't know who these blackbirds are, but I do know Groom. Luckily for us, he owes me a favor. Meet me in the Eleanor Outlaws Refuge. It's time we paid my old friend a visit. Go. Speak to Groom. I believe he has some information to share with us.
So you're Manakar's new friend, huh? How touching. He's filled me in on all the details. Just know I had no idea who the Blackbirds were targeting when I agreed to be their fence. Not that I'm pleased about ratting them out. That's right. And despite my belly aching, I'm on his word. I do have a reputation to uphold. This little meeting stays between us. King's Haven Pass. That's where you need to go. Not sure, but King's Haven is just one long valley. Move quickly enough, and you can catch them from behind or cut them off. Just need to watch out for the goblins. By Moloch, that's all I can tell you.
Then we head for King's Haven. Kerr and I will go to the eastern end of the pass and set up an ambush. You cut off their retreat.
Hey, leave me that leg if you're not gonna finish it.
You would challenge me to a duel? How droll. But then how can we have a proper contest? You don't even know the Ultima code of dueling, do you? Learn the rules and challenge me properly. Then I'll teach you some manners.
Hey, stranger. Been wondering where you got off to. It's good to see you again. Sorry if I'm a little on edge. That elf Lyrindel just dumped a barrel of insults on my head. Mark me, I'm going to knock that loose tongue right out of his mouth. Because I'm not an idiot. Guards see an orc thumping the ears off an elf in the middle of the street. You know how that turns out. Thought if I challenged him to a duel, we could make it legal. But he won't fight unless I challenge him properly. How in oblivion would I know? These elves have rules for everything. How to eat, how to sleep. Of course they've got rules about how to beat each other up. Say, you wouldn't be interested in helping me figure this out, would you? I appreciate the help. Trust me, this is a noble cause. First things first, you'll need to track Lyrindel down and find out how to get this nonsense started. I'd ask him myself, but the urge to punch him might be too much for me. Ah, you know how it is. Orc in a town full of stuck-up Altmer. Same old story. I was in the tavern, washing down a lamb shank with a bottle of wine, minding my own business. Then along comes this beanpole telling me I've got to leave. Why do you think? This island's full of orc haters. Only thing they hate worse than orcs walking the streets is orcs drinking their wine. Lyrindel told me I was stinking up the place, so I told him to yank the stick out of his arse and shove off. He laid into me with everything he had. Tongue-lashing me about my tusks, my clothes, my beard. And that's the one that really got my dander up. I put a lot of work into this beard. He ended the whole thing with pig face. Pig face! Damn right! I've been on the receiving end of that one too many times. So now he's going to learn a lesson. Are you kidding me? I could clobber that arseface blindfolded. I'm not one for boast, but since you asked, I'm a 5-time blood-brawling champion. In the Rothgar League, mind you. Used to call me Rogazog the Face Demolisher. Yeah, because I, demolish faces. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? I always wanted a really sharp moniker, like the Hatchet or Fist of Malakath, or something like that. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, that elf's in big trouble. I've been asking myself the same thing ever since I stepped off the boat. Thought maybe I'd have a look around, take in the sights. My Aunt Lazbesh used to tell me stories about this place, see? Tales about glass trees and crystal towers and magic ale. Yeah, it's supposed to put your arse over flagging with a single sip. No self-respecting orc would pass up a challenge like that. Unfortunately, I haven't found any magic drinks. Just fancy wine and prissy elves. I don't know why I listened to my aunt. When I was a pup, she got her head stuck in a bucket. Couldn't get it off for a night and a day. So, yeah, Smart Gold says she was making it up. Then again, I'm here on her advice, so who's a real idiot?
Davon's watch would have been overrun if you hadn't been there.
Fairly met, Neberar. To what do I owe this profound pleasure? Oh, for Stendar's sake, that business. I won't apologize for speaking the truth. That orc is an uncivilized, gloveless buffoon. I'd sooner duel a frog or a tea kettle. But if he insists on facing me, he'll need to learn our dueling customs. I suggest he read our guide to Altmeri culture. He can read, can't he? There's a copy just there on the table. If he meets the preconditions and notifies my second Fandalol, I promise to duel that filthy Glanant at the determined place and time.
Back so soon? He blew you off, didn't he? Oh, what I wouldn't give to knock that smug grin off his face. Let me see. Looks like I need a second. An Altmer dueling foil and Lyrandel's full name to recite before the duel. Want to be my second? It'll be worth your time, trust me. I'm going to lay that elf out like a cheap rug. What do you say? You can pick up an elven dueling foil in town. As for Lyrandel's name, he wouldn't shut up about it. Started with Rumelon, I think. It should be chiseled somewhere in the runes of Torheimcard. Arrange the duel with Fandalol and we'll be all set. I'm going to find a good spot near the runes just west of here for our duel. It's the guards, see? Duels are acceptable between high elves, but when an orc's involved, might make them grumpy enough to step in and stop it. And we can't let that happen.
Greetings, Walker. How good it is to see a fellow newcomer. This one grows tired of serving these dungy high elves. Unclawed dandies make my tail bristle. But my words wander. What can Nadoni do for you? Dueling sword? Yes, a fine selection. This one has just the thing. A needle-sharp blade wrought from the finest glass. I took it from the lord of this house. Do not judge, it pays me. Nothing fair is fair, yes? It can be yours for the right price. You drive a hard bargain, Walker, but this one is feeling charitable today. Take this blade with Nadani's compliments and good luck with your duel.
Tell me you are real, my friend, and not another mind trick sent by the vile slugs to deceive me. Marines, we followed rumors of some new kind of magic, discovered the geysers. Sea-slowed magic, Something to do with abyssal pearls. The geysers spout terrible sea creatures and undead. Bokorgan, the sea slode, is working to increase their power. Our report contains all the details. The High Elf Marine in Dirham. He's a mage, though nowhere near as powerful as Kynar. He compiled notes about the geysers, most of which I didn't understand. When the Yagra attacked, we split up. The Marines headed down the coast. I should survive. I've suffered similar injuries in the past. As soon as I gather my strength, I'll make my way back to Eleanor.
Talk to the Battle Reeve. She's been waiting for you to return. Besides, I can hear you perfectly fine from over here.
You're back. Kynar returned and said you went in search of Maria and the Marines. Tell me, is the sea slode threat as dire as the Queen's cat intimated? Eight protect us. A cabal of sea slodes, high elf traitors, magic geysers that can sink the island. I ask you to look into one threat, and you bring me a multitude. Still, this confirms the rumors. Now that we know, we can plan accordingly. Normally, I'd dispatch every soldier at my disposal to deal with these geysers. However, the ongoing war has depleted our forces. It might be time to reach out to more people like you and Kynar's adventurers. For now, take this with my thanks. The work you did to bring us information on the sea slode? Brilliant. That's only the beginning, however. Now we need to act on that information before the Abyssal Cabal can inflict too much damage on the island. The sea slodes have unleashed abyssal geysers that can sink the island. They assumed we'd be so concerned with the creatures that bubbled out of them that we'd fail to realize the true danger until it was too late. Let's disappoint them, shall we? Destroy the geysers. Find them and obliterate them as quickly as you can. You'll need to fight through the creatures spawned by the geysers, so bring allies with you if you can, and make sure to destroy the pearls. That's the source of the magic.
While you deal with the geysers head-on, I shall endeavor to find a more permanent solution to the problem. I certainly hope so. I might even send word to Oriandra. See if the Sijiks are interested in helping. We won't let Summerset sink, my friend. Not on our watch.
Thank you for retrieving Indiram's report and getting it to the Battle Reef. I would have hated for the Marines to have died in vain. It took me a while, but here I am. A little rest, and I'll be ready to get out there and deal with a few of those geysers myself.
Hey, about Karn Waston. Thanks for your help back there.
Now that we have the writ of authenticity, the letter of recommendation, and the tickets to Enigma's performance, we should return to Courtier Vindilwyn so I can get my audience with the proxy queen.
I honestly never expected to see either you or Ambassador Riggett again. Can I assume this means you acquired the items I specified? So I see. I'll just file the documents away for later review, and slip those tickets into my bodice for safekeeping. We should be able to process your request and schedule an appointment for... oh, let's say 5 weeks from next Maunders. You're lucky I'm entertaining the Nord's request at all. Take the appointment and be grateful for this time with the Proxy Queen. I know newcomers who would kill for a meeting sometime this year, let alone in 5 weeks. Now, if you don't mind.
Riggert is so disappointed. How can I negotiate peace if I can't even get an audience with the High Elf Proxy Queen? What a terrible predicament this has turned out to be. Do you have any brilliant ideas, my friend? Of course. Threaten the snooty High Elf with a scandal. High Elves hate scandals, snooty or otherwise. Watch how Riggert negotiates a difficult situation. No, better idea. You do it. That way Riggert gets to be the good Nord. More believable that way.
Back again? You and that Nord are worse than a plague of fell runners in a field of swamp nettles. What do you want this time? He did what? How dare he? Why, I have a mind to... No. I see how it is. Very well. Tell the ambassador I'm impressed by his ruthless use of rumor in... I'll let the Proxy Queen know that Riggert is her next appointment.
What happened? Did the threatening words do the trick? Or is Riggert in even more trouble with the snooty High Elves now? She did? I mean, of course she did. Riggert had every confidence in you. Thank you, my friend. Take this with the gratitude of the Nord Cultural Exchange. I think you'll like it better than that stinky essence of mammoth that I saw you ogling.
Proxy Queen Eleanor Way, may I present the Nord Ambassador, Rigard the Brash.
Pleased to be seeing your beautiful face, Your Majesty. Sign the treaty, and we can break for dinner. Unless you want to be negotiating first.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Ambassador. I'll listen to what you have to say, and we'll see where the evening takes us.
As long as the evening includes lots of mead, that sounds fine to me.
Ambassador, I find your Nordish inclinations to be most refreshing.
Oh, Rigert has plenty of inclinations, Your Majesty.
We look forward to finding out all about your inclinations, Ambassador Rigard. Come along. The royal chef makes a rabbit meatball pie that you'll absolutely devour.
You may have forced my hand, but that doesn't mean the Nord Ambassador will be successful in his quest. Not that it matters to me. But I hope you realize you made an enemy in the court, newcomer. I will find a way to pay you back, mark my words.
Quickly, over here. You're the first soul I've seen coming out of King's Haven. Tell me, were there any signs of the Blackbirds at all? This is Tableau's locket. I gave it to her myself. It should hold enough of a scent for Kerr to track, Stendar willing. Let's see where the old girl's nose takes her. Here, girl. See if you can find our friend Tableau. She's caught a scent. Make sure to follow close behind. I'll keep back and guard our rear.
Avast! You face Ula Fire, the thoroughly unscrupulous. Come no closer, or I shall bestow a banquet of blade work upon thy body.
I'm afraid only skewered meat is on the menu.
Wait! Don't hurt him! He's not a real bandit!
A true actor must know when to exit the stage. Farewell!
Tableau, what exactly have you gone and done?
This certainly played out differently in my head. Well, I suppose the good news is I was never actually kidnapped and no one was hurt. All around, not so bad of a turnout. I didn't know what else to do. Manakar had cut off all contact with me when Liluen became my patron. So I took some, admittedly drastic measures to get his attention. I had hoped that he would agree to become my private guard after this. When I became an artist, I was surrounded by a new set of masks. Pleasant, smiling faces who only cared for my fame. That's when I realized how important Manakar was to me. He doesn't hide who he is, or how he feels. He truly cares about me. I understand that. I truly do. But what happiness can I find if I continue to deny my own feelings? Fame isn't worth that. It isn't worth being apart from the one I care about. Would you try to convince Manakar to rethink his stance?
Come now, let's finish this. While there's still time for Liluen to come up with an excuse. In Summerset, rising above your rank is nearly unheard of. The only ones who manage to do it are truly great artists. It's a recognition that most only dream of. I may be but a Hulkind, but I know Tableau would regret this. Sooner than she thinks. She's blinded by sentiment. My friendship isn't worth this. One day Tableau will realize all she's given up. She'll grow bitter. She'll grow to hate me. I'd rather end it now while the memories are sweet. That's all I want. I suppose you're right. Tableau has shown me nothing but kindness despite my status. Besides, she's gone through such great lengths just to see me again. If this is what she wishes, I shall continue to be by her side. Are you sure you won't regret it? Being associated with a Hulkind?
I never have. Not even for a moment. And I doubt I ever will.
They'll never accept it. You'll be mocked, shamed.
What if I am? As long as I have you by my side.
I suppose I will, won't I?
Thank you for helping Manakar realize the truth. For now, I'll continue my art. Perhaps I'll lose some prestige, but I don't really mind. In fact, I'm actually looking forward to some peace for once. Why, they're not bandits at all. They're just my old friends from the House of Reveries. They thought it was quite entertaining to play at being bandits. Though I'm afraid Manakar may have put a bit of a damper on their fun. Well, they were real once. They disappeared ages ago, during one of their smuggling operations. It's always best to masquerade someone who's not around to unmask you.
So it seems I shall remain with Tableau after all. I'm sorry you had to get mixed up in this mess, but thank you for helping me see reason. And have no worries. I'll make sure that Tableau ends up all right. The dodge.
If the Queen's Eye wants to chase his own tail by following skeever scribblings, fine by me. Anything to keep him out of our business.
Step away from that scribble, newcomer.
Take a breath, bailiff. It's just a scribble, not one of Razandar's conspiracies.
Talk to Bailiff Roland. He apparently enjoys dealing with bothersome newcomers.
Only one of the lesser races would deface a beautiful wall like that. I mean no disrespect, but my statement rings true. Razandar claims the scribble contains a message of some sort, but I just don't see it. The cat mentioned he was working with a newcomer. But if you ask me about Daedra, I'll toss you down a pit. As I told Razandar, Summerset banished Daedric cults centuries ago. Our biggest problem right now concerns these wall scribblers. Do I look like a Khajiit keeper to you? He said something about the scribbles. I'm just glad Razandar is far away and not bothering me. You, on the other hand, are way too close. Move along, or face the wrath of the divine prosecution.
Lots of folks passing through the city these days. Lots of luggage ripe for plunder if your fingers are quick enough.
Raz doesn't care who you worship. He just wants to know if your cult was attacked recently.
Perry, I would welcome you. Our prince accepts all kinds, and you'd be our first Khajiit.
You'd be our first anything, actually.
Five Claw, you have the happy ability to know where to find Raz when Raz has need of you. Getting information out of these Perryite idiots is like squeezing milk from a stone. This is why Raz hates dealing with Daedric cults. Interesting question. Raz has learned that the Court of Bedlam has been attacking the cults of other princes, including those devoted to Meridia and Azura. Now, usually if crazy cultists kill each other, it's good for Summerset. But this feels wrong. You do? Well, Raz trusts you. So I can tell you about an old friend who attends Meridia ceremonies in the Etonir Grotto. Raz doesn't approve, but it's her life, yes? This one will make contact and meet you outside Etonir. Raz was planning to head up north to Etonir after talking to these Perryite imbeciles anyway, to check on his old friend. The Court of Bedlam's attacks on the other cults were particularly vicious, and this one worries so. War. That would explain the attacks. Raz isn't an expert on Daedric cults, but this doesn't sound like their usual behavior. This one thought they just sort of left each other alone. That's a terrible thing to say. No, Raz refuses to believe it. Raz's friend is a survivor. She's got to be all right. This one will go and make contact. Make sure she's fine. Then we'll meet you outside Etonir. Raz hears things. He heard about the attacks on the rival cults. He heard that the court consists of followers of 3 different princes.
And he heard that even though the High Elves constitute the majority of the court's members, there is one Dark Elf. A single Dark Elf among a group of High Elves seems significant to Raz. Besides, everyone seems to fear her, but this one could not dig up any details. We should keep an eye on.
Look, Martine. The sacred scribbles of Peryite have brought another aspirant to our holy fire. Would you like to hear about Peryite? He may be the prince of plague and pestilence, but let me explain how that's a lot better than it sounds. What better way to find true believers? Since Daedric worship is against the law, only the truly faithful would know that a skeever is one of Peryite's sacred symbols. Well, that and the dragon, but I've never seen one of those. Those gloried constables? Why would I be worried about them? I don't think any of them care about the wonders of Peryite or the mysteries of the divine skeever. Unless... perhaps a judiciously placed pamphlet or two is in order. The court of what now? Is that a high elf thing? They really are fond of their rules and regulations, and their courts. Lots of courts. That's the great thing about Peryite. There aren't any rules. Well, at least none that anybody cares about. You want to join? Well, this is embarrassing. We didn't expect anyone to accept the word of Peryite, at least not this quickly. We haven't figured out the specifics yet. Dues, uniforms, rituals, things like that. Could you come back later? Thanks.
I told Filbert this was a mistake. Peryite protects us, but trying to proselytize on an island where Daedra worship is frowned upon was never a good idea in the first place.
Over here, Five Claw. This is Raz's old friend, Sadarado. She follows Meridia, but do not hold that against her.
May Meridia's light shine upon you. Raz told me you need to contact my prince. With the recent attacks, however, I need to ask you what your interest in Meridia happens to be. Meridia's Sword of Light? I'm not sure I understand. Even if I wanted to help you, my efforts would probably be in vain. My prince doesn't speak to just any mortal. The leader of our sect had Meridia's ear, but he was caught in a recent attack. My prince blessed you with her presence. That's a story I'd love to hear sometime. For now, I'll do my best to help you, but the path to the shrine will be hazardous. Mephalla's creatures still roam the area, feasting on my brothers and sisters. Enter the grotto and look for our camp. Meridia's shrine looms over the area. Raz will accompany me and will enter via a side tunnel. I don't want you to have to worry about me while you're defending yourself against those creatures.
Raz thinks this is a bad idea, Sadara.
I want to help Raz. Maybe this is the reason Meridia allowed me to escape when the rest of my sect was attacked.
This one deals with all kinds of problems for Queen Irene, but this makes Raz's first stand on end. Outlawed cults and Daedric princes. How did Raz get his claws stuck in this particular ball of yarn? But do not despair. Raz will be right behind you.
You'll find the shrine toward the back of the grotto. Meridia spreads life and light, but I hope you kill a few of those terrible creatures along the way. We'll sneak around and meet you at the shrine. As long as Raz is with me, I should be safe. This way. We're almost there.
Raz is not fond of Daedric cultists, but no one deserves to die like this.
The Court of Bedlam are cowards. They struck us down without warning. I will try my best to get your friend an audience with the Lady of Light. The shrine is just inside. Master, what did those bastards do to you? Look what they did to his body. They defiled Meridia's shrine.
That light, that is not natural, yes?
Meridia, she calls to us.
My devoted priest, a loyal soldier, an intrepid instigator. Step closer and bask.
Why is this statue talking
My
about-
followers murdered. My shrine desecrated. The other princes, this so-called triad, they must answer for these insults. But I sense a question in your mind. Speak, champion of Cold Harbor. Ask what you will of the Prince of Light. They dare to steal my vessel? To hold prisoner the agent I put in place to foil their despicable plans? My light shall not be snuffed out. My colored rooms will not be compromised. You must set Darien Gautier free. My vessel just thinks of itself as the mortal called Darien Gautier. In reality, Darien is my will and my power, inserted into your reality whenever my light needs to banish a darkness. I will admit my night changed after it met you, though. The night had a single purpose, but somehow you complicated matters. Now the night actually cares. You and my vessel will both be required to stop the Triad. You must enter Mephalah's realm and rescue Darien. The gem cannot grow a new sword, but I can add to its power. Now you can use it to locate Darien in Mephalah's realm. Return to the Right Master and tell him... Wait! How dare they? The Triad dares invade my sacred realm? This cannot stand!
Meridia, my prince! Gone. Longer.
Raz is certain that the nice statue will be fine. In the meantime, let this one take you someplace where you will be safe.
Our shrine desecrated. My prince under attack. How can such things be allowed to happen? Still, Meridia spoke to you. Go, find the Golden Knight and restore Dawnbreaker. They may be our only hope.
Raz has seen many things. Were-sharks, flying tigers, were-sharks on top of flying tigers. But a talking light? Ah, Queen Irene will never believe it. How much trouble are we in, Five Claw? Be honest with old Raz. Too much honesty is never a good thing. How do we battle Daedric princes? Raz supposes an army would help. An army always helps. Alas, Raz rarely has an army to call upon when he needs one the most. And that involves traveling to places Raz never knew existed before all this started. No. Raz will see Sadara to safety and then do what he can to protect Summerset and the Crystal Tower. The Daedra fighting, Raz will leave to you, yes?
Fairly met, newcomer. Wait, you're the one who was harassing Lyrindel earlier. I presume you've come to talk about this business with the orc. The ruins, eh? A good enough place as any to put that witless oaf in his place. You do know that Lyrindel has fought and won some 80 duels, don't you? No matter. Lyrindel grudgingly accepts this challenge. We shall meet you near the ruins.
There's my favorite second. Feels like I've been warming these knuckles up for hours. So, what's the story? That scrawny prig accept my challenge? Just look at this sword. I couldn't kill a squirrel with this thing. And this is a name? Looks like somebody's grocery list. Ah, it doesn't matter. I'll improvise.
I formally present Lyrindel, cherished son of the Nevulero, to accept the orc Rogazog's challenge. So, ready to watch Lyrindel skewer your friend? Skewer may be too harsh a word. We're only fighting to first blood, of course. But then again, accidents do happen. And to whom do you issue this challenge? I'm afraid you'll have to be more specific. Go on. Go on. Ah, there we are. Was that really so hard? Lyrindel accepts Rogazog's challenge and stands ready to fight. I trust your thick-headed friend is duly prepared.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Come here, fancy pants.
He just... but the rules state... Look, I won't tell anyone about this if you won't. I'll say, I don't know, Lyrindel fell from his horse. Yes, that's it. Just keep that orc away from me.
Ha! By Malakat, that felt good. You know, I never punched a high elf before. Felt like punching a pillowcase full of pudding. Almost feel bad for the little runt. Almost. Huh. Yeah, normally I'd put on a show, but this was personal. Honestly, I took it easy on him. If I'd really poured it on, he'd be breathing through his ear hole. Anyway, thanks for all the help. You ever need somebody knocked out, you let me know, huh? Think I'll stick around a while. Great view, huh? Sore knuckles, a stiff salt breeze. Huh. You know what? I take it all back. Summerset's not so bad after all.
How undignified! Clubbing a Mer over the head with his fist! This orc is a savage! Please don't tell him I said that.
I see signs of the court's work throughout Summerset, but nothing of the court itself.
I think the Court of Bedlam has fewer members than we imagined.
Enough of this for now. Let's see what our friend has learned. You returned, but without the Dawnbreaker. Weren't you able to make contact with Meridia? Forgive my impatience. This inability to remember has me on edge. Go on. Tell me what you learned. The Court of Bedlam is eliminating the cults of the other princes? To what end? You said you were able to make contact with Meridia. Then why didn't she give you a restored Dawnbreaker? I suspected that might be the case. I'll send Valsarun with you into Mephalah's realm to rescue the Golden Knight. A disturbing development, to be sure, but we'll have to hope Meridia can protect herself. I'll open a portal to Mephalah's spiral skein when you're ready. Then you can use the gem to find the Golden Knight.
Mephalah's realm can be daunting, but I'll be with you the entire time.
Remember to stay focused on your destination at all times. Otherwise, you could get lost in myriad pathways of the Dreaming Cave. And whatever you do, don't lose that gem.
Are you there? I think we were separated.
There you are. I'm up here. Try to find a way up while I take a look around.
It's like a maze in here, full of dead ends and passages that lead nowhere. Try to use the Dawnstar gem. Maybe it will reveal a path we're not seeing. I think there's something stalking me in here. Oh no!
stars! I can breathe again. Oh, I couldn't breathe. As usual, you found me just in the nick of time. The beast that captured me, I've never seen anything like it. A little lightheaded, but I'll be fine. Now that we're together, we can focus on finding the Golden Knight. And if that beast shows its mandibles again, I'll be ready. Something with the body of a giant spider, and, well, I'm not sure how to describe it, but it was a creature right out of my nightmares. Just what you'd expect in the realm of a Daedric prince. No matter, let's go find the Golden Knight. The path revealed by the Dawnstar gem? What I wouldn't give to be able to use portal magic in here. That wasn't a pleasant experience. That light in the distance. It's brighter, out of place in this dismal setting. That must be the Golden Knight. Mafala won't leave something as valuable as Meridia's Golden Knight unprotected.
You're about to regret this.
Or my webs will fill your pretty mouth now.
I tried to warn them. Took you long enough. I expected this rescue hours ago.
Your gratitude has a hollow ring, Knight.
Oh, I can be very grateful, my lady.
Maybe we should just leave him. I'm sure the right master would understand. This is Meridia's champion. He's not as impressive as I imagined.
Well, this is awkward. You're probably wondering how your old friend Darian became Meridia's champion and got stuck in all this sticky webbing. You know, it's a funny story, really. Probably better if I wait to tell it until after we escape from this realm. Guilty as charged. Meridia sent me to offer my assistance, but those other princes, they kept interfering. And then I was dragged into this pit of spider harlots. Look, we can catch up on things later. Right now, we need to get out of here. There's one small problem. We can't just walk through a door to get back to Tamriel. Believe me, I tried. How did you find me, by the way? Mafala specifically said she was putting me someplace where no one would ever think to look. I knew you wouldn't abandon me. Not after everything we've been through. Maybe now we can, no, let's save that for after we save the world. As happy as you've made me, you need to know something. I'm in no condition to fight at the moment. Oh, right, the gem. That makes sense. I perfectly understand. You need Meridia's champion, so here I am.
and with the gem, I can repair Dawnbreaker. Just so you know, I feel awful. I am in no condition to fight at the moment.
Let's get out of here. Meet me outside. I can open a portal to the Dreaming Cave, but the ritual will take time, and will more than likely draw Mephal's Daedra. You need to hold them off until I can find a way back home. I won't be able to assist you while I'm casting, and the Golden Knight doesn't appear to be in any condition to fight. I'm afraid you're on your own, my friend. Let my voice penetrate the barriers between here and the Dreaming Cave. Keep them back a few moments longer. I can sense the portal opening, just by the stars! That spider thing! The portal has opened! Let's get out of here!
Valcerin, take the knight to the healers. We'll deal with the sword later. In the meantime, I need to speak with our friend. You and Valcerin entered Mephal's realm and rescued Meridia's Golden Knight. I couldn't ask for more, my friend. I assume Darien believes he can repair the Dawnbreaker. I hope that would be the case. The Golden Knight will need to recover some of his strength first, though. Who knows what tortures Mephala and her creatures inflicted upon him? That's not a fate I'd wish on my worst enemy. Who can say what drives such beings as these? To work with the Sea Slode, to pit their followers against the cultists of other princes, to launch attacks into rival Oblivion realms. Such actions boggle the mind. Knight Darien needs to recover his strength first and restore the Dawnbreaker. Then we can attempt to unblock the path and see where I took the heart of transparent law. For now, take this with my thanks. While the Golden Knight recovers, we must make preparations for breaching the Daedric barrier. Since I can't remember where that particular pathway goes, we'll have to be ready for any contingency. I also need to tell you about another memory. My memories return slowly, a little at a time. While you searched for the knight, a memory came back to me. A woman's voice, barely a whisper, beautiful but speaking in a language I can't understand, repeating the same words over and over. I suspect that the language is ancient. It may actually predate the languages of Tamriel. I feel that the memory is connected to the barrier in the Dreaming Cave, and where I hid the heart. My friend, we need to discover the meaning of these words. I hoped you'd say that. I sent Oriandra to my study to review my memory and see if she could translate the ancient words. I even suggested a scholar she could contact, an expert in ancient languages and obscure dialects. Go, check on her progress. No, I just feel that the words contain the key to where I hid the heart of transparent law. I do know the language is not native to Tamriel, or to anywhere on Nirn for that matter. It feels ancient, alien. I hope the expert recognizes it. Forte, the Grand Maestro of the House of Reveries. We've shared research in the past, and he thinks the language could be related to tablets he once studied in Ebon Stadmont. Now go and see if Oriandra has made any progress by reviewing my memory.
not derived from Iliad, though I see a possible correlation to Daedric linguistic patterns. Who's... Oh, don't you know not to interrupt a sage when she's deep in concentration? I suppose the Rite Master sent you to see how my research was coming along. I've listened to his memory over and over, and I examined every relevant tome I could find. Not yet. The Master of the House of Reveries sent me his work. It relates to a similar language seen in the ruins of Ebon Stadmont, but I only understand a little of it. I wish Lathan was still one of us. He was our language expert. Ancient languages and battle magic, to name just a few. Lathan betrayed us, and I don't trust him, but I've reached a dead end. We need help, and he's the best option I can think of. Take the notes and show them to Lathan. What do we have to lose? I'll let the Rite Master know what I proposed. He may not like it, but he's always telling us to utilize every available resource. I think this qualifies. You'll find Lathan in Valserin's study. See if you can convince him to translate the words. I have no idea, but it's worth a try. I know Lathan and the Rite Master were friends. I don't believe Lathan would purposely try to harm Ichesis. On the other hand, if Lathan thinks that helping us will help his cause, he'll jump at the chance. I suppose it had something to do with his daughter. Eldaway was a beautiful girl, smart, sweet, and full of energy. She brightened the entire island. When she fell ill, Lathan and Valserin grew apart. It was how they dealt with the tragedy. Don't you think we tried? The Rite Master, Valserin, the entire Conclave. But nothing helped. She grew weaker and weaker, and then she was gone. Val threw herself into her work after that. Lathan just grew more distant. Only if you want to guarantee that Lathan refuses to help us. Haven't you seen them since they were reunited? Val wants to kill him, and Lathan hates her with a passion. They used to be so in love. Now it breaks my heart to see them like this.
Interesting. You weren't this attentive when our daughter actually needed you?
Lathan, I need to go check on the knight anyway.
Val, wait! Damn it. By the spinner's holy webs, when did I become an insufferable arse? Valserin didn't deserve that. Eldaway was her daughter too. Why am I talking to you about this? I know it isn't because I like you, because I really don't. Is this some new attempt at interrogation? If so, I'm not familiar with the technique. Very well, I'll play along. Yes, I am a master linguist, specializing in ancient and obscure languages. Why do you ask? Intriguing. I've never seen this dialect before. I can translate it, but I need more to work with. I need to examine the original tablets found at Ebon Stadmont. That will never happen, of course. You do remember I'm a prisoner here, don't you? According to those notes, the writing is carved into a massive stone. I doubt you'd be able to carry it back here. All right, you've piqued my interest. Use this rune when you reach Ebon Stadmont, and I'll be able to see what you see. Nothing nefarious, if that's what you're asking. Just enter the forest, find the obscure language, and use the rune so I can see what you see. It won't do anything beyond that, I assure you. According to the scribblings of this Grand Maestro Forte, Spinner's Web, that's a pompous title. The forest is a maze filled with all kinds of beasts and daedra. As to the reason why, who can say? Sometimes a cursed wood is just a cursed wood. I don't see how that's relevant to our interactions. Not in the least. Still, my words were spiteful, meant to hurt her. There was no need for me to open old wounds. But why does this concern you? I'm your enemy. Are you too dense to see that? You and Ichesis, always sticking your noses into places they don't belong. I suppose I can appreciate that, but kindness won't help you in the coming war. Very well. I'll tell you this. Val loved our daughter, and our daughter loved Val. Hate? I'm not sure what emotions I feel right now. But when my daughter was dying, when she was crying for her mother's comfort, Val wasn't there. She was buried in her work, too busy or too frightened to spend those final moments with Ildaway.
The rune is working perfectly. It's almost as if I'm standing right next to you. I can feel the powerful magic that permeates this place. I sense a Daedric influence, but something that's far older than my Prince Bathala. The Maestro's notes said the ancient words were etched into a massive stone. I expect you'll need to travel deeper into the forest to find the exact location. I can't translate the words the right master heard until you find that stone. Just retrace your steps. You likely walked by the massive stone and didn't even realize it. Wait a moment. The Maestro's notes had a passage about crows and a path. Just refer to the book and hope for the best, I guess. Refer to the book. And use the rune again when you locate the ancient writing. Have you found the inscription? Not yet, but the inscription is nearby. I sense something else, though. Nocturnal spirits.
ancient inscription. You found it. Something isn't right. I feel... our connection breaking up. It's Nocturnal's Earl...
Now that Lathan's gone, we can talk freely. I never expected to see you again, but you shouldn't have come here. These words of power, they aren't meant for mortal eyes. I'm an Earl in the Court of Bedlam now, so believe me when I say that Lathan isn't being totally honest with you. That doesn't matter. What matters is that I want to maintain the balance of power among the Daedric Triad. If Lathan translates the language and gives Mephala the secret, she'll gain an advantage that could threaten my prince, Nocturnal. Speculate all you want. I'm here to give you a gift. Nocturnal has authorized me to provide you with the meaning of the mysterious phrase. It's in all our best interests for the Right Master to remember where he hid the heart of transparent law. The phrase the Right Master remembers, the words he keeps hearing. It's a spell to retrieve something hidden. When the time is right, he just needs to repeat the phrase to reveal the heart's hiding place. I wasn't sure how I'd feel if I saw you or Naryu again. Balmora seems like a lifetime ago, and I'm a new person since committing myself to Nocturnal's service. I wish you weren't involved in this matter. Artaeum is only as isolated as it allows itself to be. First, the Abyssal Pearl allowed the Sea Slode and Mephala to invade the Sidjic Island. Then you took Lathan, an Earl in the Court of Bedlam, prisoner. We know your moves before you make them. Our princes plan to do away with the laws imposed by other powers. They want to remake Nirn, reshape it to better suit their every inclination. Of course, to do this, all obstacles must be cast aside, including the other Daedric princes. The court isn't evil. We wouldn't be a part of something that didn't add to the greater good. When our princes are done, war and sickness will be eradicated. There will be true peace and godhood for the court, as befits beings of our stature. A new life, more like a new prison, serving at the feet of a Khajiit to become a slave to the High Elf Queen. No, that's not an existence I could bear. I follow the shadowy paths of Nocturnal now. She gives me the freedom to be who I really am. I felt abandoned, lost. That's when Nocturnal offered to comfort me. Not the Morag Tong, not a Khajiit guardian, not even you. Nocturnal gave me a purpose and a family. She gave me something to believe in. Belief doesn't make something true. You stopped me once, but I'm stronger now. More powerful. As for the princes, you're barely a speck on a flea that gets casually brushed aside after a minor irritation. Do what you must. This only ends one way. Tell the Right Master, it's a spell of retrieval.
Finally! I've re-established my connection to the rune. Tell me what Nocturnal's Earl said to you. I can't believe Nocturnal's Earl interfered like that. We're supposed to be allies. Why would she want to stop me from reading that ancient inscription? A spell. Interesting. And somehow connected to the Right Master's forgotten hiding place. I wonder why Nocturnal decided to share this information. She isn't usually the most forthcoming of the court's esteemed princes. Right. I told them to interrupt my research before I could unravel an ancient and powerful language. Look, you should come back to Kapora Tower now. The Right Master wants to hear everything my associate shared with you. And frankly, so do I. I just wish I could have spent a few moments studying that inscription.
Oriandra, you should have consulted me beforehand.
She saw an opportunity and she took it, Tychesis.
Silence, Lathan. Need I put you in chains to remind you of your status here?
I'm sorry, Right Master. We should have asked permission. It won't happen again.
This escapade of yours could have been disastrous. What were you and Oriandra thinking, trusting Lathan to help us translate the ancient language? Now nothing you discovered can be trusted. We're back to square one. I observed what I could through Lathan's connection, but it seems to me that the Court of Bedlam is just trying to confuse us. What do you think? Should we trust Nocturnal's Earl or not? Then we're no better off than we were. Except now we have the Golden Knight. Let's proceed and hope for the best. Perhaps I'll remember more after we use the portal. Go outside and retrieve Darien, then meet me in the Dreaming Cave. No matter whether Nocturnal's Earl spoke truth or lies, we need to recover the heart of Transparent Law. I'm sure I hid it somewhere beyond the Daedric barrier. Was there anything else before you go and check on Darien? I remember I tried to resist the Sea Sloat's compulsion and was able to maintain a sliver of control. But as for a revelation spell, where would I acquire something in such an obscure language? And whose voice do I hear echoing in my mind? I remember using what control I still possessed to foil Katora's plans. I recall forging a bargain with someone I have no memory of. I remember that it was the only way to assure the heart's safety. That, my friend, would be a mistake. Summerset's ancient defenses have withered since the Transparent Law crystal was broken and the heart removed. Every moment the crystal tower remains incomplete, another protection falls away. I'm sure that it is. But in that certainty, we gain an advantage. You'll be at my side when we locate the heart, and you'll be there to help me defend it from the Court of Bedlam and their princes. I remember I tried to resist the Sea Sloat's compulsion and was able to...
Please, feel free to peruse our libraries. This is, of course, only a fraction of our collection. The really dangerous tomes are well out of reach, I assure you.
Our trip into the Cursed Wood wasn't a total failure. I had a brief moment to examine the inscription before Nocturnal's Earl usurped our connection. I think I know what some of the words from the Right Master's memory mean. Not yet. He's been in a harsh mood. Besides, I've only been able to make a partial translation. The phrase contains 8 distinct words, repeated over and over. I've been able to translate 3 of them. In, heart, unsealed. Do with that information what you will.